Today we're talking about a topic that I wish somebody had made a video on for me years ago when I was a beginner photographer, and that is photo shoots with models 101, how that actually looks like and how to go from awkward to amazing. Let's talk about it. My first portrait shoot with a model, oh my god, it must have been like 8-10 years ago now, not nearly as long as my actual photography career, because at first I wasn't shooting models, I was just shooting things. I didn't have the confidence to actually set up and shoot models, but about 8 to 10 years ago is when I really started to take things more seriously with my model portrait work, and that was when I had my first shoot, and let me tell you, it was awkward as heck. Straight up, I had no idea what I was doing, but let me paint the picture for you. I was in university in first year, and we had this like Facebook page when people used Facebook pages for our university graduating class, and on that page I posted looking for models to shoot. Hey, I'm Josh, I'm an amateur photographer and I really want to shoot more models and more portrait work. Who wants to shoot? And a bunch of people reached out to me via Facebook Messenger that also went to the same university as me to set up shoots, and it was what it was. Mind you, this is like 10 years ago with regards to my talent, but also my social skills as an adult and everything that comes along with that. But honestly, I had no idea what I was getting into. And come to think of it, I didn't really realize that I didn't know what I was getting into. I kind of just jumped into the deep end and hoped that it worked out, and so far it has. But at first, it was genuinely a rocky start from the get-go. So today, we are talking about some crucial steps from start to finish on how to actually shoot with models, how the actual photo shoot works. Now, this is not going to talk about any of the pre-production or pre-shoot stuff, how to actually reach out to models and get them to shoot or collaborate with you. This is if you already have a model set up to shoot, what the actual photo shoot looks like. A couple other assumptions for this video are that your shoot takes place in a studio or on location somewhere where you are going to, and that this is a mutually beneficial, or you are paying them to do a shoot and there's not like a bigger production behind this. It is just a one-on-one situation. Yes, this also works if you're shooting a couple or a trio or a quartet of models, but in this situation it was just one model and myself, the photographer. Okay, first up, arrival. Ideally, you want to show up at the location about 15 to 20 minutes early before the actual scheduled shoot time, just to make sure you know where you're going. The amount of times that I've gone to new studios and had to figure out where's the entrance, what's the entrance code, how do I get access to this place, all of these things take time. You might even need to call a studio manager or somebody that was involved in the booking to figure these things out. So arrive early, well before your model, so that when the model arrives, you are ready to go. This is also true for on-location shooting, like on a beach, for example. You want to get there, scout out the location, make sure it is as you envisioned in your head, so that you have that extra buffer time to adjust accordingly. And plus, being early is just a professional, courteous thing to do. This shoot today, both Corinne, the model, and I were actually really early. We got there at the same time, about 15 minutes before the shoot time, so it allowed us to find where we were going and get situated. Another note on that is that a lot of these tips and a lot of these things I'm going to walk through all come back to the core of being a professional. A professional photographer is not just somebody that is really good at photography, they're also somebody that treats themselves and the people they work with as a professional. And a part of that is time etiquette and being on time for your shoot. I always say early is on time is late, and late is unacceptable, and that is kind of my driving force when it comes to scheduling anything. I always try and be there early because I just find it to be proper etiquette. Next up, when talent arrives, what I usually like to do is meet with them for about 5 minutes, talk about whatever it is, and get to know them as a person. This is called building rapport. This is a crucial step because, especially as a beginner photographer, your mind might only be focused on being nervous about the actual shoot itself, making sure you can get the images, making sure that your vision comes to life, but you can't forget that you're working with and interacting with another human. So to get the best results out of that human, out of the model, you want to make sure that they feel comfortable, and with that, you want to build rapport. This shoot was a perfect example because it was my first time meeting Corinne, and we spent about 5 minutes talking about work, talking about what we like to do, where we're from, schooling, all this type of stuff. Basically small talk to just break the ice and get each other comfortable with each other. Next up, we have music. Music plays a key role into setting the tone for the photo shoot, and although I love my playlist, although I love all the playlists and songs that I've built specifically for photo shoots, I will always ask my model what they like to listen to first. What kind of music do you like to listen to?
I'm pretty basic. I like to feel sexy and confident in my photo shoot, so The Weeknd does that for me.
Done. Perfect. As the photographer, I want to make sure that the model is as comfortable as possible, and if they are listening to music that they like, odds are it will really help them be more comfortable in front of the camera, and this goes for amateurs and pro models alike. In this case, Corinne said that she loves listening to The Weeknd on shoots, so when we do, pull up Spotify, get the Bluetooth speaker, and put on a Weeknd playlist. In the event that the model says, oh, I don't really care, I like all music, I like any kind, I'm not picky, then I always have 1 or 2 different playlists set up and saved on my Spotify, specifically for different types of photo shoots. I have one that's more summer and upbeat vibes, I have one that's more cozy and chill vibes, all depends on the shoot and the model. After that, I usually like to spend about 2 minutes looking over the mood board with the model to make sure we're on the same page with the vision for the shoot. Yeah, so I mean, I actually shot this picture last time and I loved it at a previous studio. I love really slow. On that, one tip about the mood board is I will always print it off at home before coming to the shoot. That extra little physical thing will make you look so much more professional and so much more prepared as a photographer. Instead of just scrolling your camera roll or pictures that you sent them, having it printed off and ready to show them is much more interactive and just shows that much more care towards the actual shoot. We usually talk about what poses we like, what poses we don't like, what the idea is with different poses, what outfits might go with certain poses better. Again, this is an icebreaker conversation to make sure that you guys are on the same page and ready and comfortable for the shoot. Now, the last thing I'll ask my model before we actually get to shooting is there anything that they want to start with? Is there a certain outfit or a certain pose that they feel more comfortable with starting with? That way we can warm up to each other, warm up to the camera, warm up to the model, and get used to each other before getting into more detailed and intricate outfit and poses. If the model doesn't have a preference on this, I usually like to start with the easiest outfit first and the simplest poses. If you start with something more intricate and detailed in terms of outfit and posing, then you might not get the best result out the gate because you haven't built up a proper communication flow and style throughout this time shooting together. If you start with simple poses and simple outfits, then you can give simple direction and simple changes that will then eventually build to more complicated ones. Again, this whole shoot was only an hour long, so for this portion, I'll spend about 10 minutes. After the first or second pose, what I like to do is show the model some of the pictures that I've been taking on my camera to give them a sense of what the camera is capturing and just to see if they like the direction I'm going. A lot of the time, the models just end up looking at themselves and at the details like their hair or their hand and leg placements, and they might just make adjustments and ask for another round of photos. This happens almost every single time and is a really good way to say, okay, now we're on the same page, we got a flow going, let's do this again. And then from there, you just keep going. You build up into more detailed poses, more intricate outfits, or if the shoot calls for it, outfits that are more revealing or more intimate. Things like this might be better served for later on in the shoot because you've really built up that connection with the model by that point, but that's really it. You keep the energy flowing, you keep the energy high, you keep the conversations going, you keep laughing and smiling and cracking jokes with them, and that is really what the bulk of the shoot is going to look like. As I'm shooting, I also like to keep an eye on the time. I always wear a watch and I let the model know what time we're at and how much time we have left. This is just a professional thing on my end. It shows the model that I care about staying on track and not just doing a willy-nilly job. This is a structured shoot, a professional shoot, and thus we all need to know how we're doing in terms of time management. Now, once you're done shooting the entire shot list, what I like to do is ask my model, again, because this is much more of a casual shoot, is there anything that they want? Anything specific outside of the mood board or the vision that they want me to capture for any reason at all, and if there is, great, do that. Okay, perfect, that's a wrap. Is there anything else that you want shot for yourself?
I actually think we got everything. I think I'm good.
Perfect. Corinne was really happy with the stuff we captured, so that was a wrap. Now, like I said, this shoot was an hour end to end. From when we walked in the door to being wrapped out the door, it was 1 hour, and you can get a lot done in that hour. I shot this entire YouTube video in that hour on set. We shot, obviously, all the portraits. We built rapport with the model. We had conversations pre-shoot. We looked over the mood board. We got ready for the shoot. All these things happened in just 1 hour time, and that is because I acted as a professional. I hope you guys like this breakdown of what it actually looks like to do a photo shoot with a model 101 from awkward to amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys give Corinne a follow on IG. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the like button on this video and leave a comment on what you want to see more on this channel. Thank you guys so much for the support. Always, always, always. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.